In the last seconds of the debate, you mentioned something to Charlie Kirk that he did not include on his broadcast, but you did on yours.
You can't infringe on someone's freedom to ask them to wear a mask because it might not spit deadly virus into their face. That's too much of an impingement on freedom for you. But you're okay with rolling back reproductive freedom. You're okay with rolling back voting access in this country. You're okay with broadly undermining our democracy by backing an insurrection literally to overthrow the election of our nation that you supported. I mean, Turning Point's literally funded Trump's Jan 6 rally.
So Ben, I have a question.
That led to an insurrection attempt on our government and the death of many people, including police officers that you claim to love and care for. How do you reconcile being anti-freedom on all of those things and claiming you are pro-freedom?
So Ben, I have a question. Which one of us was
anti-democracy?
Ben, I have a question. Which one of us was arrested at the Capitol before?
I was.
So you're an insurrectionist?
Oh no, I didn't break into the building and kill people.
Wait, were you arrested?
Yeah,
Where was I on January 6th?
You were doing a podcast in which you said, I'm getting 500 emails a minute of people saying, we want civil war, ginning that up.
You were arrested at the Capitol?
Not that day.
And I was in Phoenix, Arizona.
And you also sent busloads of people to the Capitol on Jan 6.
How do you justify being an insurrectionist?
You sent people to the Capitol on Jan 6. For the insurrection.
You really should get better research.
Are you not? Hold on.
Our students never got near the Capitol.
None of them.
No, they were actually at the They were at the ellipse,
and none
2
of them
miles
walked.
away.
None of them walked into the Capitol.
But you, as an insurrectionist who were arrested at the Capitol,
No.
Because you are a threat to democracy.
I peacefully protested and told the Capitol Police I would be protesting.
2 years earlier.
It was respectful and it was civil disobedience.
I did not know that you were a domestic terrorist.
So you do take blame for the insurrection that happened on Jan 6?
I take no blame. That's slanderous and wrong.
Why do you take no blame for it? You sent buses of people there.
To the ellipse that got nowhere near the Capitol. You're the insurrectionist.
But that day that you ginned
up.
That
is libelous and slanderous, and you know it.
That day that you
So what's the final question you have here?
That day that you ginned up.
I ginned up nothing.
That day
That's a
that you ginned up.
lie. You're the only one that got arrested.
You said you were sending patriots to fight.
I said nothing like that.
Yes, you did.
You've never said
You're sending buses ginning up.
And you said they want a civil war.
This is so typical of the left.
Civil war.
Where you come in here, where you yourself have been arrested at the Capitol, and you try to say that I am something I'm not. You are a domestic terrorist, a failed presidential candidate no one's ever heard of.
So you're
and you have the balls to come in here and try to call me that?
So you're not. You're not responsible for it.
Let me.
I'm just asking that's my last question.
Not even close.
You're not responsible for what happened on
But you have actually been arrested on the Capitol. Let me finish and say this. This right here is exactly why we're not going to come together as a nation or this. You dishonestly come in here with poorly researched talking points where I was 2,000 miles away.
You can't
Phoenix, Arizona
incite a mob from a distance.
Let me be very clear. You're the one that's actually been arrested before. Yeah. I have not, nor are students, and they got nowhere near.
None of them.
And let me just finish by saying this. You're done. Let me finish by saying this. This is exactly why no one trusts half the country.
I promise.
Because they dishonestly lie about this, and they think they got one.
But this is all cut, right? This is not on his.
So this was on. He ends it right after this.
He's been arrested.
And then when he gets up, he didn't air any of this.
So much for a great debate. Thank you guys so much.
I promise here's my last sentence.
This all is not on from here.
If you're not responsible for what happened on Jan 6, is that because unintended consequences happened that you didn't anticipate?
I hope that
kind of like mothers that have an unintended pregnancy, they didn't anticipate. So if you want to be cut some slack for Jan 6, maybe you could cut women some slack.
Thank you.
Who unintentionally get pregnant.
Thank
Does that
you.
sound like a deal?
You're the domestic terrorist.
I was peaceful protesting, my friend.
Thank you. Domestic terrorist.
You ginned up an insurrection on our country.
That's good.
Oh, he was big mad. He was real mad there. You got him.
I mean, he also must have anticipated the question, right? Because that's why he did his research on your protest activities.
Yes, which, just to clarify, and that's the one thing I regret that I was so caught off guard by that. I didn't make very clear. It was literally in 2019 during my presidential campaign in a planned act of civil disobedience that I went with Represent Us as part of a 900-mile march or 700 miles from Atlanta to D.C. that Ronaldo Pearson did, and I joined for the last mile, and we told the Capitol Police we were protesting corruption in government and trying to get lobbyist money out and trying to stop voter suppression, and we told the cops, and we sat in, and they said, if you don't stand up, you'll be arrested, and we did that. We didn't stand stand up and we got arrested, and it was coordinated with the police.
Peaceful civil disobedience.
peaceful
I mean,
disobedience.
people understand the difference between that. Well, listen, Ben.
And so let me just say quickly. So then he tries to hover over me and intimidate me. And I think the point at the end there, even though it's a little bit of a mixed message, is I think so good, because if you're going to literally carelessly support an overthrow of an election, an overthrow of our government, and not take responsibility for so closely, if not directly, encouraging these people to storm the Capitol building, to not certify an election, and you are not responsible for that unintended consequence as you claim, it just doesn't make sense for such a large thing to say you have no blame. But for an everyday thing that happens millions of times a year, somebody gets pregnant by accident, to not understand that maybe you should be able to have a way out of that situation if you're not ready for it. It's always a sad instance when an abortion happens. It's not done lightly, but it's something that the woman should be able to choose between herself and her doctor. And that should be, I think, pretty darn clear.
Yeah, I mean, I just on that last point, like, I just got to say, from my perspective, like, it isn't always a sad instance on an abortion. I mean, nobody likes to go to the doctor. I don't. But I don't think it's in many respects any sadder than getting your appendix out in certain instances. I mean, for some people, I have no doubt that it is that it can be a hard decision to make, and but one of timing. But I don't know that it's always necessarily sad. Frankly, I know a lot of people who have had abortions, and to the extent that they were sad about it, it was, there's been a whole host of things in their life that they're actually genuinely sad about, and that's not generally one of them. But
people get sad about a lot of stuff. You get sad about TV show stuff. I still miss my appendix, and I write letters to it, but that's me,
There you go. Ben, where can people find you, find your show, or what would you like to plug?
Sure. Thanks so much for having me. It's been really cool to be on this show. You guys do amazing work. You can follow me at Ben Gleib on all social media, very active on Twitter and Instagram. I have a show that just dropped yesterday on Disney Plus called Just Beyond. I'm an actor in that show. I play a ghost in episode 6. My game show Idiot Test is on Game Show Network on the weekends, and Pluto TV. You can watch season 1 of it there. And I have a virtual comedy club I created during the pandemic so people can actually have live entertainment from the safety of their own home. Live audience, live laughter. You see and hear everybody. It's called nowherecomedyclub.com, nowherecomedyclub.com for tickets to all the shows, other comedians, not just me. And I do a weekly show there called Gleib Off the Top, Crowd Work and Improvised Madness, where you're part of our community. We elect a mayor, and I just go nuts and improvise with you and play characters. And it's really fun. You can get tickets to all of that at nowherecomedyclub.com or my website, bengleib.com.
Busy.
Awesome.
Busy.
Very, very busy.
Appreciate it, Ben. Thanks for coming on.
It's totally my pleasure. Oh, sorry, it's a million plugs, I'm sorry, but I also have an in-person tour. I'm coming soon to Phoenix and Dallas and Valencia this weekend and Vancouver. So if you want to come see me in person, also bengleib.com for my Descent into Madness tour. That was too many plugs, I'm sorry.
No,
I would like them all. Appreciate it. All right, thanks again, Ben.
Guys, my pleasure.
Congratulations, too. Appreciate the work you did there with Charlie Kirk. That was
Thanks.
pretty fun.